The movie begins with former UN agent Jerry Lane, his wife Karen, and their two young daughters, Rachel and Connie, are in heavy Philadelphia traffic when the city is overrun by zombies. Jerry and his family fled the city, out of danger, but Rachel had an asthma attack and they had to go to the pharmacy. Soon after escaping from Philadelphia, UN Deputy Secretary General Thierry Umutoni, an old friend of Jerry, called him to say that the same situation was happening in New York, saying that he urgently needed his help this time and would do his best to rescue them. As chaos spreads, the Lanes escape to Newark, New Jersey and take refuge in an apartment with a couple and their young son Tommy. In the early morning, Jerry dispatched a U.S. military helicopter to rescue them. The Mexican family refused to go with the Jerry family, and the Jerry family had to run to the top of the building at full speed. They are forced to escape with Tommy when a horde of zombies attack the apartment and his parents are infected. The little boy Tommy caught up with the Jerry family after a fluke, and finally fled the city by helicopter with them. Lanes to a U.S. Navy vessel in the Atlantic Ocean where scientists and military personnel are analyzing the worldwide outbreaks. Andrew Fassbach, a young virologist, insists that the plague is a virus and that the development of a vaccine depends on finding the Ori. Jerry is told he and his family will be evicted unless he helps Fassbach find the outbreak source. In order to protect his family, Jerry reluctantly accepted, and the next day he followed the escort to Camp Humphreys, a U.S. military base in South Korea. Jerry, Fassbach, and a small SEAL escort fly to Camp Humphreys, a military base in South Korea. They were attacked by zombies as soon as they got off the plane. When they arrived in South Korea, Fassbach turns to enter the aircraft, slips and accidentally shoots himself and dies. Surviving American soldiers at the camp rescue the team and Jerry learns the infection was introduced to the base by its doctor. A former CIA operative imprisoned at the base sends Jerry to Jerusalem, where the Mossad set up a safe zone before the outbreak was officially acknowledged. Jerry decided to go to Jerusalem to find more answers, but when he walked out of the base and returned to the plane, he was chased by zombies. Jerry boarded the plane to retreat safely. In Jerusalem, Jerry meets Mossad chief Jürgen Warmbrunn. Months earlier, the Mossad had intercepted Indian military transmissions describing troops fighting zombies, prompting them to erect huge walls around Jerusalem. While Warmbrunn escorts Jerry around the city, the loud celebratory singing from the refugees prompts the zombies to scale the wall and overrun the city. Warmbrunn orders Israeli soldiers to escort Jerry back to his plane. On the way, Jerry notices zombies ignoring an old man and an emaciated boy. Soon after, one of Jerry's escorts, identifying herself only as Segan, is bitten in the hand. Jerry quickly amputates her hand to prevent infection. The pair are able to make it out alive on a commercial airliner. Jerry radios Thierry, who diverts the flight to a WHO lab in Cardiff. Nearing approach, a stowaway zombie is discovered on the plane, and the majority of the passengers are quickly infected. Jerry uses a grenade to rupture the cabin of the plane and eject the zombies, but this results in the plane crashing. Jerry and Segan survive the crash, and are able to make their way to the lab. Only Jerry and Segan, who survived the plane crash, helped each other to come to the CDC in Wales. The researchers inside learned of Jerry's identity by phone, and Terry informed them that Jerry's family had been sent to Canada, the safe area of Scotia. Jerry explains his theory to the scientists that the zombies ignore weak, terminally ill, and severely injured people as they are unsuitable hosts of infection. He then suggests that they inject themselves with a deadly pathogen to act as a camouflage. The scientists point out that their pathogens are located in a zombie-infested area of the lab. Jerry, Segan and a WHO doctor fight their way through the lab. Jerry, Segan and a WHO doctor went through the lab and saw many zombies. They was careful. Jerry asked them to go to Lab 39, but he made a sound for the zombies to chase him. Jerry finds himself in a room with the pathogens, but, as he attempts to leave with the pathogens, a lone zombie appears behind the door and blocks Jerry's only means of escape. The zombies force him to inject himself with one of the pathogens. His theory is proven correct when he allows the zombie into the room and it does not notice him, allowing him to bypass the rest of the zombies in the lab. Jerry and Segan reach a safe zone at Freeport, Nova Scotia. Jerry finds and embraces his family, Karen, Rachel, Connie, and Tommy, who is accepted to the family. The movie ends with the new vaccine being distributed to people around the world to camouflage and fight against the zombie, ending the zombie war.